Look, man, shoot YouTube videos.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got another great video for you. Today me and my wife are going to be discussing how to find your cost per mile. Well, which leads to your rate per mile, which you will need to take in order for you to profit or at least break even on your truck. That's a question everybody have out here is, can you really make money on your truck? And it's all predicated based upon where you're at. All right, one thing I speak on is accessibility. And when I say that, I mean, how many Amazon facilities do you have access to? And how many are near you? And how much is your deadhead, which will determine how much money you can really make. So today, that's what we'll be discussing. We'll be showing you some realistic numbers of what you could be looking forward to if you decide to get into the game, get a box truck, and try to make profits. And two, we did this based upon the most popular thing that people are doing, which is leasing their trucks from Enterprise or Ryder or whatnot. And these numbers can be adjusted based upon, your situation. So without further ado, let's get into it.
All right, so for our example, we're gonna go over a 31-day month, and there's fixed costs and variable costs. And in addition to the ones that we use in the example, we did list quite a few others that you may want to apply to your situation. So just know that the more costs that are involved, it will change the amount of profit that you will receive. So make sure that you plug in all things that you know on a daily basis contribute to the cost of your truck. So
and before you continue, I just want to say this. A lot of people do their costs per week, and that kind of can mess you up because your costs of your diesel change daily. That's why you want to do what's your daily cost of your truck, what it costs for your truck to sit each day. So this is what this here 3-tier formula will help you with your daily cost. So you'll know each day when you're booking the load, you know that you're booking the correct load.
Right. So in the example that we're going to show you all, we have two fixed costs, which is the lease and finance charge. In this example, we're just using a $500 a week cost. Divided that by 7 days is $71.50 a day. And then for the insurance cost for $1,500 a month. Now this is, a single truck we're just doing. That's $48 a day. For the variable cost, we have a mileage surcharge of 22 cents per mile. And then diesel, we're assuming if you're on empty, averaging out about $300 to fill your tank from all the way empty back all the way up to full. So in this example, those are the numbers that we're going to be using. In your situation, you're going to apply whatever numbers fit your situation. If you take a look down at the bottom, we listed a few other costs that you could consider or things that you might want to add to your equation. And just keep in mind that if you have any of these costs, make sure that you include them because it will affect the total daily cost to run your truck. So don't leave anything out.
All right, now that we have figured out what our daily fixed and variable costs are, we would then plug it into the 3-tier formula that me and my wife came up with. Now, this is going to vary once again based upon your situation. So once again, this is just a broad example of what's pretty much popular right now, which is people wanting to lease or rent trucks from Enterprise, Ryder, or those other reputable truck leasing companies. So just take that in consideration while you're looking at this formula that is definitely going to change based upon your situation.
Right. Now, once we have those numbers from the example, we're going to plug those into the formula in order to figure out what our break-even rate is, and then also figure out how much we're actually going to profit for the day. So you have first you need to find your total round trip miles. That will include your deadhead to the Amazon facility, plus your loaded miles for the trip that you booked, and then you're going to add your deadhead back home. So once you take those numbers, for this example, say your Amazon deadhead from your location, your home to Amazon is 40 miles. Then the trip that you booked was 150 miles. So from the last stop on that trip back to your home is 120 miles. So that brought your total miles for the day to 310 miles. After you figure out your total miles, you then go to the daily cost of running your truck. In this case, if your tank is on empty, you're gonna want to fill it up based off of diesel prices now, we just average that out to $300. So you have $300 that you got to put into your tank, plus the daily leasing or finance charge of $71.50, which we figured out from the last page. Your mileage surcharge based off of a 22 cent per mile times 310 miles for that day is $68. And then your insurance divided by the number of days in the month is $48. So once you add all of that up, you now have a total of $487.50 a day. And that's having to put diesel in your truck. Without diesel, if your tank is already on full, then you're starting at $187.50 for that day.
Yeah, and just to interject, now that $187 for that day is really specified based upon those miles of the load miles, which was 150. Now for the truck just to sit there, you could pretty much take away that mileage surcharge of that $68, and you'll honestly get your true honest number, which would be more closer to what, 119 or something, about 100 and
It's at like 100.
yeah, about $120. So it'll be on for just for your truck just to sit there will be $120 a day just for your truck to sit.
Yeah, that's
Right,
without diesel.
That's without
and
diesel,
without driving anywhere.
Without driving anywhere. Just you go lease a truck from Enterprise or Ryder or whatnot, and these are your rates just for your truck to sit for that day. Every day is $120.
Right. Right. So on this day, since we are factoring in diesel and your mileage, we came up with the $487.50 on an empty tank and $187.50 on a full tank. Cruz had mentioned before why it's so important for you to get a full tank when you pick up your truck. If you're leasing that first day, make sure it's on full, because as you can see, if you have to already start in the negative of $300, you've already lost. You're going to constantly be trying to make up for money that Enterprise or Budget or whoever could have compensated you for and had you start out in the green for those first few trips that you're taking. All right, so once you figure all of that out, now you're going to use those two numbers, your round trip miles and your daily cost of running the truck, to come up with the rate that you should be looking for the load that you're booking. Now, this is the most important part, because people will see a load, they'll see a price and think, oh, this is great. Oh, it's a $300 for me to go, whatever amount of miles. But is that really going to allow you to profit once you factor in all of these other costs for your daily truck, for your truck to sit daily? And this is where you figure that out. You have your daily costs divided by your round trip miles. That has to be deadhead to and from the load plus the loaded miles. And then you multiply that times 2.1. That's going to give you your break-even rate, plus or minus a few dollars. But pretty much this means that you've made no money on it, but you shouldn't have lost anything to take this, or pretty much paid to take this load for for Amazon, right? So in this case, on an empty tank, $487.50 divided by 310 total miles equals $1.57 times 2.1 brings you to $3.30 a mile. If you have to fill your truck up with diesel, is your break-even rate. So that essentially means when you're looking on the board and you see the payout, you should see the pay rate of $3.30 times your loaded miles of 150 miles to equal your load payout of $495. Once you do that, if you know that the cost of your truck is $487 and then you see that the load payout is $495, you can just automatically recognize that you aren't losing taking this load. However, you're not making a lot of money. That's when you have to figure out how much you want to actually take the pay rate for. And once you do that, the rate payout times load miles should equal to or be greater than the max cost of running your truck for the day in order for you to see a profit. So in this example, with the numbers that we plugged in, the profit with having to fill your truck up with diesel would equal the $495 minus the $487, which is your load payout minus your daily cost of running your truck, equals $7.50. If you have your truck full of diesel already, that $495 will subtract $187.50, so your profit for that day would be $307.50. After seeing this, you will decide whether or not taking that trip is worth it. Would you want to profit $7.50 off of, which sounds like a great rate of $3.30 a mile, but once you come back home and once you eat, you're pretty much at zero. Is it worth it?
Yeah, and with that, just to add on to what my wife was saying, is that's why it's imperative that when you go get your truck, for those that are financing or leasing that truck, that you're getting your truck on a full tank. All right? Get your truck on a full tank and do your proper numbers. Guys, make sure you go check out my other video where I actually created a calculator spreadsheet to where you actually put the numbers in and it calculated for you automatically. So, okay, make sure you go check that out. And I hope this is helpful. Make sure you know your rate per mile before you go out there and just book these crap loads. And I wish you nothing but success. Keep trucking, y'all. Peace.